So here's something we probably all know already. Trust is hard. Yesterday we started talking about trust, and we're going to be talking about it for a few weeks. But I found myself thinking about why trust is so hard. And I think part of it reaches into yesterday when we find trouble in our lives or we have trouble telling people certain things, or opening up to people in certain ways. What we really end up finding that we have is we have vulnerability issues. We have difficulty with vulnerability and really difficulty letting go and letting somebody else take part in our lives. To trust somebody else to take part in our lives or to trust somebody else with what we're going to tell them requires a massive amount of vulnerability. As I thought about it this week, I thought to myself about Ruth. And Ruth, I've talked a little bit about her before and her and Boaz last month, but one of the things about Ruth that's fascinating is she makes herself extremely vulnerable to her mother in law. What happens in this book is you have three women. You have Naomi, you have Ruth, and you have Orpah. And all three of their husbands die. Naomi is the mother-in-law of these two women, and Orpah, she goes back with her family to go have a new husband, but Ruth refuses. She's a Moabite, they're in Moab, and she refuses to go back to her own family, rather decides to go back to Bethlehem with Naomi, who's decided to call herself Mara now, which means bitter. And when Naomi sees that Ruth doesn't want to go back, this is what she says. Look, your sister-in-law is going back to her people and her gods. Go back with her. But Ruth replied, don't urge me to leave you or to turn back from you. Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God, my God. Where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried. May the Lord deal with me, be it ever so severely, if even death separates you and me. When Naomi realized that Ruth was determined to go with her, she stopped urging her. In essence, she actually decided to let go. She decided to trust Ruth, which was a tough thing to do. Naomi, she had family to go back to, and um, in this moment, we don't only see Naomi trusting Ruth. When Ruth tells her all these things she'll do for her, we see the way that Ruth completely trusts and becomes vulnerable to Naomi, even to the point of saying, I'll forsake my family, I'll forsake my gods, that I might follow you and that I might take on your God. This is a fascinating story about trust. And the first part of the story just points to us how trustworthy Naomi and Ruth are with one another, how close they are because they're able to become vulnerable with one another. They've both gone through horrific, terrible things, and yet they know that this isn't the end. They're going to be able to let go, they're going to be able to take care of one another. Even if Naomi is not quite there yet, we know Ruth is. And after Ruth says what she does, Naomi is able to let go as well. Friends, we're called to find ways to be vulnerable with God. Not just to be vulnerable with God, but to be vulnerable with other Christian brothers and sisters. And that's a scary thing. In the information section under this video, I'm going to share a video about two different wonderful performers with Cirque du Soleil, and they're going to talk a little bit about trust. I invite you to watch this video and to continue thinking about trust and what it means to let go.